For more on the story is Mr. Gordon Duff, senior editor at Veterans Today. Hello, Mr. Duff. Pleasure to have you back on Press TV. Your thoughts on the Turkish president's rhetoric and threats?
He's obviously losing touch with reality. He's moved probably 5,000 men in, and we're looking at maybe 1,200 pieces of equipment, 500 pieces of heavy armor into an area where he has no air support whatsoever, nor will he ever. Perhaps from a military standpoint, one of the stupidest possible things any human being could do. It's unimaginably stupid. At some point, the Syrians are going to be selling him his tanks back to him. They're going to have to walk away. What he's not seeing or not talking about, and first of all, we're going to preface this by saying there's going to be a diplomatic settlement. That's a prediction. The Russians are doing everything to keep him from making a total fool of himself. On the other hand, the Russians have also made it extremely clear that they're not going to allow him to do anything. While all this is going on, in the last few days, the Russians have brought a half dozen Su-22 bomber aircraft into their airbase in Latakia. The Syrian Arab Army has moved forward a half dozen. Basically, it's a thermic device. It's a launcher that each salvo equals a mother of all bombs. They brought 6 of those launchers in, which are each one capable of obliterating a Turkish checkpoint base armor. They destroy about half a kilometer, turning it into dust. And they have the equipment there to do this. The rationale is this: the Syrians are overstretched, out of supplies. It's a few days before the highway from Homs and the military supplies that are held on the coast are going to be available. Iran has been moving in reinforcements, air defense units into the area as part of the coalition. And when that highway is open, it's about 7 or 8 days before they're going to be able to remove the endless number of roadblocks there. There will be a significant resupply capability. And Turkey will suffer, and they have suffered several defeats already, and they'll just suffer more. The key to this, of course, is it was mentioned in your broadcast that Turkey is in gross violation of the Sochi agreements. They have failed to separate their terrorists from the Al-Qaeda terrorists, and their side were always mercenaries and terrorists to begin with in the first place. And they have failed to meet the standards that were set for December 2018, not 19, 2018. They had agreed to pull back and to make the highway from Aleppo to Hama totally open for all traffic. Well, the Syrian Arab Army just did that themselves, and in doing so, took 2,000 square kilometers of territory from the terrorists as well.
And if I could ask you, I mean, it might make, on the surface seem like a silly question, but why does Recep Tayyip Erdogan think that he has the right to decide what happens in Idlib province over Damascus?
Well, this is a guy who spent $1 billion building himself a house. There are a lot of unspoken things that when $1 trillion worth of oil was stolen from Iraq and Syria, he and his family cut themselves in for a significant portion. He's facing indictment on, this is something not made public everywhere, but for involvement in a major heroin processing ring. Erdogan's a gangster. He has never been anything but a gangster and an Islamist Sunni extremist. He has been a lifelong supporter of terrorism. And his problems are domestic. And there's this second game he's playing here. He's playing tough guy and trying to bring the U.S. to his side when the U.S., it was the U.S. that tried to kill him in 2016. It was a CIA plot. He said it. It's true. And the U.S. support of the Kurds is for one reason: to divide Turkey, because Turkey is the target. The U.S. can't do anything with Syria. The U.S. has been beaten. the easy target for the U.S. is going to be Syria, or Turkey rather, not Iran.
And Mr. Duff, before we let you go, what do you think Erdogan's end game is in northern Syria at this point?
Within a week, it's going to be to get out without being humiliated. He believes he can bluff his way into holding the land he currently does, which is some of Syria's best farmland and some key industrial areas, which he's using to profit personally. Between Trump and Erdogan and Netanyahu, this is gangsterism hidden behind geopolitics. And these guys are all personally tied to this. They're there for the cash and nothing else.